Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got 3 replays in the Soviet Tier 9 Tech Tree light tank, the T-54 Lightweight. Now if you do like the video, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe down below as it really does help out the channel. And yes, the T-54 Lightweight, it's one that someone asked for a wee while ago, so I went out and got replays for it. And then just never made the video because I'm an idiot, but it is what it is. So the T-54 Lightweight, it is a pretty darn nice Tier 9 light tank. It's very mobile. It bridges that gap between medium tank and light tank, because it's very similar to the T-54, but it's light tankier. So you've got better camo, but you've got less armor. You can still side scrape with this T-54 Lightweight because you've got 60mm of armor, and the shape of the hull means that you can actually side scrape. Would I ever recommend you do it reliably all the time? No, but it's an asset that you can do. The turret front will also get penned pretty easily by most tier 9s and 10s, but because of the shape of it and the thickness of it, it can ricochet shots too, which can also be very nice. The gun handling itself is a lot better than it used to be because, well, 6.0 made accuracy fairly irrelevant at times, and that means that the gun is actually pretty accurate with fantastic DPM at 3.1k as well. You've got good mobility, good camo, and you're also a pretty heavy light tank, which means you could, if you wanted to, realistically, set the tank up with controlled impact and go ramming other light tanks like that T-49 over there. And you won't lose too much hit points by ramming them with it, and you'll do a lot at them because you are pretty heavy and you go pretty quickly, which can be a meme for the T-54 Lightweight. But on the whole, it's a pretty damn nice Tier 9 light tank. It's just one that you got to get used to some of the nuances of it, like having 5 degrees of gun depression, where you can go with it, and just how and where is the best places to go scouting with it. So the T-54 Lightweight has a 69 km/h top speed with a 23 km/h reverse speed. 800 horsepower engine is 25.95 horsepower per ton ratio, which means you get up to that 69 km/h top speed, by the way, giggity, 69 km/h top speed very, very easily, and you are exceptionally mobile in this vehicle. 12% internal fire chances on the lower end of fire chances, but you are a Soviet vehicle, which means shots through your front end do tend to set you on fire, so be careful of that. Ground resistances are absolutely amazing, so they do not hold this tank back whatsoever. 50 degrees a second on the hull rotation speed means this tank turns very, very quickly. If you were to run the traction system, you would obviously go faster than 69 kilometers an hour. You would go more like 75, and then you would also have a 55 degree a second hull rotation speed, which is super duper quick. You've got 267 meters of still concealment, same as is on the move, because you're a light tank. You have the same concealment while on the move as stationary. You've got 499 meters of view range, which is great, which means you can spot for yourself fantastically in this vehicle. A 52.13 degree a second turret rotation speed is faster than the hull, which is why I'm not really running the traction system, because I don't want my turret to go slower than my hull does. But it's only about 2 degrees faster than your hull rotation, but it's still faster, which is always nice to have on a vehicle. You got 0.74 accuracy during rotation on this vehicle, with a 1.65 accuracy during movement, which is actually really not that bad at all for saying we are not running the gun stabilizer. This gun will be stupidly good on the move and stuff like that if you were to run the gun stabilizer, as the aim circle will basically never bloom out. But even without the gun stabilizer and how we've got it here, it's still really small in terms of the aim circle, and you don't have to wait for the aim time really that much at all. So that's why I didn't run the gun stabilizer on this vehicle. We've got 0.34 accuracy at 100 meters, which, yeah, it's not the best accuracy in the universe, but it's still really accurate, and that means that most of the time the gun will hit the shots. Just occasionally, bear in mind that it is a Soviet 100mm gun, and occasionally it will still like to find the floor if it can. You've got 5 degrees of gun depression on this vehicle, which can be a bit awkward at times, just like it is on most other vehicles that have 5 degrees of gun depression, meaning that you really have to know where you're going to take this vehicle to be able to get the most out of the gun depression and get this gun going. You've got a 4.81 second reload, which is 3.1k DPM, which is very, very nice for this vehicle. 208 pen on the standard APCR, though, is a little bit low in terms of the penetration and can hold you back a little bit. And since you have a 235 penetration on the premium APCR, yeah, you will struggle against some tier 10s, well, I say some tier 10s, quite a lot of tier 10 heavy tanks especially, in a lot of games, because 235 will go through the side, sure, of a lot of them, but especially some of the super heavies, you will really struggle to go through them. You've also got a 2.03 second aim time, by the way, with the build that I run, which means, like I say, with the aim circle not blooming out too much, you don't have to wait too long to even aim in, because the aim time is still really, really quite nice in this vehicle. On the shell velocities, you've got 1,050 meters a second shell velocity on the standard APCR, which is actually quite slow for APCR, but it is above average, which can still be pretty decent for it, with 1,119 meters a second shell velocity on the premium APCR, which is pretty nice, but again, still a little bit slow for an APCR round, so it's just something to bear in mind on this tank. So this first game that we've seen here on this map, which is Serene Coast, we've managed 3.2k damage with a bit of assistance, 4 kills as well, and I think you've seen all the good of this tank realistically. You've seen me side-scraping against MBTB and bouncing him straight off the side, because this thing can side-scrape, using the good DPM to effect, and using the great mobility to get about the battlefield and harass where we can. We finished the game with the first class, the 1555 base XP, a pretty average game there for the T-54 lightweight on Serene Coast. It just shows realistically what the T-54 lightweight's all about, and that is using the mobility, getting about the battlefield, using the good DPM. The gun handling is really nice, whether you're shooting on the move or from stationary, and then you can still use the armor of this vehicle if you want to be able to actually bounce things and play that aggressive scout by getting to aggressive locations, spotting, and if you need to, you can get out of jail with side scraping, because the armor is actually pretty decent with that 60mm of side armor. So what do I run in terms of a crew and equipment on the T-54 lightweight? Well, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Camouflage Expertise, Muffled Shot, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, with the Advanced Loader, the Camo Net, and Optics. Optics to be able to get that 499 meters of view range, the Camo Net to get it down to that 267 meters of still concealment, to have that fantastic concealment for a light tank, mixed in with the Camouflage Expertise and the Muffled Shot, to make that camo down to that level, and then reduce the effect of firing on my camo with Muffled Shot. And then all 3 gun perks, because we are not running the gun stabilizer, so I want to make this gun as good as possible during rotation and movement, and as accurate as it can be generally, because that's just what you want to do most of the time. And then the Advanced Loader to get the best out of the DPM, as the DPM is very, very good in this vehicle, and it is nice to get that better. I mean, realistically, if you wanted to, and run it for memes, you could drop the loader, and you could run the Spore Liner instead. Mix that with the Controlled Impact instead of something like Snapshot, and you will have an absolute meme rammer on your hands in this T-54 lightweight. Like I say, this tank can actually be a very good rammer against lightly armoured vehicles. Now, don't take that and go and ram an IS-7 and go, he said it's a good rammer, because pick and choose your targets. If I was to go ram the Teeth Breaker, however, I might do quite well with that kind of setup and not lose too much hit points. It's the light tanks and the very lightly armoured medium tanks that are the ones that you possibly want to think about going forward with the ramming. But that's for the memey builds. If you want the more serious build, this is the kind of build you want to run. And again, if you feel like the DPM's good, but you don't really care about the DPM all that much, you want to make sure you're hitting your shots more often, you could run the Advanced Loader. You could run the gun stabilizer instead of the Advanced Loader, and that way your aim circle will basically always be snappy, always be ready to go. It'll never bloom out, and you'll hit all of your shots pretty much as long as RNG behaves itself. But to be honest, as you've seen so far, the aim circle doesn't bloom out much at all. With a 2.03 second aim time, you're aiming super quickly anyway, so it's just all, look, I mean, that's as much as it blooms out, and it's ready to go pretty quickly, and it hits its shots. I don't really feel like you need to focus on the gun handling too much because of how nice it can be. And you want to just focus on making that camo better, because you are a light tank, and having the camo for doing stuff like this, where I can stay stealth while farming, that can be something that is beautiful for the vehicle. And mixing it with the very nice 499 meters of view range as well helps you spot for your team and just not die too quickly. So we're up to 790 damage so far with 1,090 assistance here on Siegfried Line. We've taken the field so that we can do our light tanky things, go spotting the enemy vehicles while getting damage. We were just putting shots out towards that K91. Sadly, the 114 SP2 ended up going through the field, which spotted us up and meant that we got shot by that K91. Still looking for the shots into the side of this guy though, because he's pressuring our platoon mate. So if we can help him out as much as possible, that would be great, because if Swindle can deal with the 114 SP2, which is exactly what he's done, we can help him by getting rid of the K91. But now the 114 SP2 is gone, I'm not really going to get spotted by this guy. We've got to be careful, though, with the T-54 lightweight, because there is something that you're going to be noticing now, and that is that we only have 21 rounds left. We fired a lot and we've not really done that much so far. You only get 40 rounds of ammunition in the T-54 lightweight, and because of how fast you fire in this vehicle, you will find there's quite a few games where you are running very low on ammunition, and you've got to be careful of it. So I was taking pot shots at the K91. I realised, oh no, I'm getting low on ammunition. I need to get going and try and find a better position to shoot this guy. So we went for the shot onto the E3, it didn't go in, but now we have shots in the K91. What I'm trying to do is hope that he panics. He's like, oh no, I'm being shot, which will force him to do something silly, which is exactly what he's doing. Sadly, we didn't pen the K91 there, but we did track the K91, and he ended up getting shot down. The gun's been a little bit derpy at this point in time, though, and it keeps missing some of the shots because we are at that distance now. I mean, 500 meters away from this E3, and some of the shots are flying wildly. But we do manage to get a couple of shots into his side, and then we switch targets because the E3 started to turn towards us to get shots into the rear of this Chieftain, or the T-95 FV4201, which is the unskinned Valor. Because, well, he was easier to pen than an E3 with 235 pen even against the front of an E3. Yeah, we're not penning that, so we may as well turn to shoot the thing that we could go through. We're up to 2.2k damage to 2.2k assistance damage. The Grill 15's in front of us. The Conqueror GC is also in front. So we're going to see if we can get into position to shoot this CGC, as he is trying to be behind this bunker. But the Grill is the first one to go out, because the Griller will be able to turn and get us with his big 150cm gun, or 150mm gun, I should say, the 15cm gun. We don't want to take that shot, so we got rid of the Grill 15, and now we can go for this CGC. And we're getting cheeky shots over the top of the bunker. It's why we backed up onto this little ridgeline, because we can shoot above it, hopefully get the finishing shot, and there we go. We shut down the CGC there with a nice shot through the back of him. Finished the game with the victory, 2 kills, nearly 3.2k damage, the 1584 base XP with the 2.3k assistance. That's 5-point-something K combined. Pascucci's, the Confederate, the first class, for a pretty nice game there in the old T-54 lightweight, which again showed off what it's fully capable of. You can use the camo to really good effect, because the camo is very nice on this vehicle. Use the great DPM to put the hurt into the enemy team from flanked positions, and then occasionally you can bounce shots here and there, and you can spot the enemy team at decent distances as well, because you've got very nice view range at 499. So we're on to the last replay of the video. In this one we are on this map, which is Nomonhan. And on Nomonhan, what we're going to do is go to around the position at DC4, because then we can spot the guys that make the crosses along the 1-2-3 line, get shots into their side if they push too aggressively. We can also spot the people that camp at D1 and E2, because we spot the people that go there. Our people that might camp at A5 or go to anywhere like B4 will get easy shots of them, and that will feed us some juicy assistance too. So we can see the Teeth Breaker go for the RBRT, and we bounce. But that Teeth Breaker looked like he was going to charge us, which he is, but he's made his run away down the other side. And that maneuver, I just saw the way that that Teeth Breaker turned, and he was very clearly going, aha, light tank, let me go lunch. So we made a quick route out of dodge there, and thankfully we didn't take any hits off him really, although we just took one there needlessly, and we managed to come away with our hit points. Then we noticed that the batch at 12T is coming out behind us, and I think, okay, you know what, Mr. Light Tank, I want to get rid of him. So we go for the track, give him a little tap for 372. We only lost about 70 HP there. Put a shot into his back. Good night, Mr. Batchat 12T. That's the kind of tank that you can ram in this vehicle very, very easily and do a lot of damage with a ram, which can be, well, pretty funny at times when you do get it. So we try and spot the guys that are camping at the back. We end up finding the KV4 KTTS. We've got into a position to shoot the Panzerjäger. So we're putting a shot into the Panzerjäger. He is going down after the LTTB. Might get a shot into the CS59 here, who, oh, he just stopped short of us being able to shoot him. Sod's law, that is, really is. But then he drives out, so we put a shot into the side of his turret. Shot into the T-32A, hopefully, as well. And the shot goes true. And even though we're on the move, it flies exactly where we needed it to. And that's because the gun handling on this tank is very, very nice. You really don't need the gun stabilizer on this thing to have that nice gun handling like you're seeing. You just make sure that you're running all the gun perks from the crew. And genuinely, that's pretty much enough to make this gun handling pretty good on this tank. So we're up to 1640 damage so far, and we're just gonna size up where we want to go, because we have a couple of TDs behind us. We have a couple of tanks at B45, which means we don't actually have that much support over here. So we need to be careful about how deep we go. So we put ourselves in a position to get shots into the teeth breaker if he pushes too aggressively, which he has. So we put one shot in, just exposing my turret, because again, I know that I should be able to bounce a teeth breaker off of my turret front, because the turret is pretty decent on this vehicle. And we managed to get 3 shots into that teeth breaker there for only taking about 80 damage off him in return, which is always great trades. If we can get rid of that light tank, fantastic. We go for the RBRT shot, and oh my lord, we've been so fortunate there. We get the RBRT shot, it tracks the teeth breaker on top of the ridgeline, and the Kari from behind us gets the shot in to shut down the old teeth breaker. We're up to 2.6k damage, and we're going to again try and get the flanky flanks to shoot these heavy tanks at C4 in the side, and maybe that medium tank that's now at A3. So we just need to keep running distraction, running interference, and trying to help our team wherever we can. So we get one shot into the rear of the IS-32, another shot that actually bounces there. That's really because we hesitated the aim, which is sad. But we're going for the shot into the Type 4 Heavy, so we get one shot into the Type 4 Heavy's side. He is kind of not... Is he not looking our way, or is he... No, he's turning towards us, which is something that we got to be careful of, because we don't want to take a hit from the Type 4 Heavy. If we overexpose our side too much and he's using the Derp gun, he could conceivably pen us in the side. I don't want that. I don't really want that right now. So we're just going to keep trying to distract him so he's not shooting at our friends. But there's only so long I can keep doing this before I'm just wasting time. The Type 4 Heavy seems to be coming our way. So I decide, okay, you know what? If he's coming this way, I'm going to go to the other side of the ridgeline. Go to this other side where he was and see if I can get a cheeky shot into his side while he's focusing the other way. So we come up, find a T-32A proto that was coming after us, and the Type 4 Heavy was just pointing the exact direction that we poked up from. Oh, just timing, honestly. He was pointing the exact way we were going to come up from, even though we weren't spotted when we made that maneuver. He still managed to get the shot in with his HE round for about 500 odd, putting us down to a one-shot now, because we're a one-shot for quite a few vehicles in this game. And the Type 4 Heavy, if he just snaps us with HE, it's also going to be curtains. So we've come to a better position to flank this Type 4 again. We're just going to be the nuisance for this Type 4 Heavy. Because if I can distract him like that, artillery might be able to slap him. There's the heavy tanks at A5 that might be able to get shots into him. I'm just going to keep my eye on the Mil 2 that's on my left, because you've always got to be aware of the tanks that are in and around you, because they could just come after you at any point and it would be curtains again. So we get a shot into the CS-59. He tries to snap the shot RBRT towards us. Thankfully, he hits the rock right next to us, and we're just going to wait to get unspotted before we make our next maneuver. Now we're unspotted, we can change up where we're going to go. So the Type 4 Heavy was spotted last making a different maneuver up to a different ridgeline. So we're going to go back and see if we can catch out this Type 4 and put a shot in, because the Type 4 goes, this game is going to get a lot easier for us, because he is a struggle for us to pen, and he's also a bit of a struggle for most other people to be able to get shots into as well. So there's the IS-32, just going to poke over, get a shot towards his upper plate. Sadly, the 235 pen actually bounces, but he turns sideways for the Panzerjäger, who he shuts down, but we do get to finish him off ourselves. The CS-59 is spotted still at B4, can't quite find a shot at him, but we get detected instantly, and I think, nope, not poking up on that ridgeline to take a hit to die at this point. This game is still on, it might be 9-6, but it's still close. So we can't give the enemy team any more hit points at this point. We end up getting spotted there because the Type 4 Heavy poked up on top of the ridgeline. So we're just going to take the long route round where we're staying in the ditches, making it as hard as possible for us to be able to get spotted or get randomly shot at. And I want to go up the ridge directly in front of where I'm pointing, because if I can get up there, I can try and find where that Mil 2 was and try and get extra shots into maybe where the TDs are and just get some flanking effort in here, which again distracts from my team that are currently on their right-hand side. So with TD spotted on our right, we're going to get up behind it, put a shot into the back of it. It is a Grom. If I can try and track and pen this guy, that'd be great. We're going to put another shot into the back end on the top superstructure of the Grom, because we actually damaged his Amarak a second ago. He's repaired it, though, which meant that the track and pen there keeps him pinned, and we finish off that Grom. Now, it was always important to go for the track there, because we knew he'd used a repair kit to repair the ammo rack. So if we could track him, that would get that Grom out of the game, because we have that kind of DPM that we can perma-track people very, very easily. We get a nice shot into the Emil 2 there, which tracks him in place. The Type 4 finishes him off, so we get a bit extra assistance there on that guy. We're up to 5.4k damage with 1191 assistance. The CS59 and the KV4 KTTS are down below us. And again, this KV4 KTTS is going to be distracted by the heavy tank in front. So we get behind him, put a shot into his back end. Realistically, we should have gone for the track straight away so that we could track and pen him. But it is what it is. We didn't get it, but we did get a pen. And sadly, he actually got absolutely eviscerated, so we didn't get another shot in. But we finished the game with a really nice total there for the T-54 lightweight. Finished with the 2 kills, 5,668 damage, 1,302 assistance. Ace tanker, the Confederate, the sniper, the high caliber, with the 1825 base XP. A really great game there for the T-54 lightweight, where we really had to work for that in the end, where we had to keep flanking, keep changing positions, be always on the move, and that's just the way you want to be in the T-54 lightweight, which is a very, very nice light tank at tier 9. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
A great success!